Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, my name is Raysa from A1 2019. And now I would like to present about presuppositions. And this is my content. First, I would like to explain about the definitions of the presupposition and then move to the theories. The third is types of presupposition that stated by Joule. And the last is the examples of presupposition. Okay, first, I would like to explain about the definitions of the presuppositions. First is the definitions from the expert. Finch writes that presupposition deals with the necessary preconditions for statement to be true. And presupposition is when the speakers assume certain information is already known by the listeners. You have to remember that speakers have presupposition, not the sentence. Presupposition is common knowledge possessed by speakers and the listeners. In a simple, a presupposition is common knowledge or prior knowledge that become the context of the conversations between the speakers and the listeners. And the second is the theories of presupposition. First is semantic, based on lexical and has linguistic meaning, or semantic is based on the meaning of each sentence. Example, Shafa didn't go to the airport. She missed her flight anyway. In this case, the meaning is belong of the sentence. The second is pragmatic. Pragmatic presuppositions is based on context, can be location, situation, and etc. and as a part of communicative act. Or pragmatic presupposition is based on the meaning but with emphasis on the context between the conversations. Example, A said, "What did you order? I have never seen that food before. It looks good, right?" In this case, we can state that the meaning is they took a conversation, can be in the restaurant or it can be in the cafe or it can be in their home, but in the order they were in the order some food. The presupposition of statement will remain true even when that statement is negated or even when the statement is questioned. The presupposed or the P is always true. Let's move to the analysis. Like this, I have a positive sentence, negative sentence, and question sentence. For the sentence of Kenny's sister bought the houses. If we change the sentence to the negative, Kenny's sister didn't buy the houses. And the question is, did Kenny's sister buy the houses? In the positive, we can assume that Kenny has a sister or someone out there, person belong to Kenny's sister. In the negative sentence, even if Kenny's sister buy or not the houses, Kenny will always have a sister. So P is always true, or P presupposed to Q. And same with the questions, if did Kenny's sister buy the houses? We don't know Kenny's sister buy or not, but Kenny still have a sister in there. So P is always true. P presupposed to Q. This is the note. P presuppose Q if when P is true, Q is true. When P is false, Q is still true. When Q is true, P could be either true or false. P is refers to the noun or the entities or the common knowledge by the speakers. The next is types of presupposition. Joule described a potential presupposition is an assumption typically associated with the use of a linguistic forms, can be words, phrases, or structure, and he divided potential presupposition into 6 categories. There are, first is existential presupposition, next is factive presupposition, and then lexical presupposition, and the fourth is structural presupposition, the next is non-factive presupposition, and the last is counterfactual presupposition. First is existential presupposition. Existential presupposition is the assumption assumed to be committed to the existence of the entities named by the speaker, or existential presupposition is assumption of existence of the entities named by the speakers. Example, this is the example is mother clean the kitchens. We know that presuppose to mother. Why? Because mother is the entity named by the speakers. We have to not say that there is my mother and mother clean the kitchen. It's not necessary. We just said mother clean the kitchen. The listener will get the assumption for the sentence that speaker said. The second is factive presupposition. Factive presupposition is presuppose information following a verb like know, realize, regret, be, aware, and etc. Or factive presupposition is assumption that something is true. Something is true. Remember that? Example, Harry realized that Hermione is a smart student. This is, and the fact is, Hermione is the smart student. The assumption or the presuppose is someone or person out there is called Hermione, and the fact is Hermione is a smart student. Even if Harry realized or not, there is Hermione, and the fact is she is a smart student. The third is lexical presupposition. Lexical presupposition is the presupposition that use of one word with its asserted meaning is conventionally interpreted with the presupposition that another meaning is understood. Or in a simple is, lexical presupposition is the assumption that using one word and the speaker can act as the another meaning will be understood. Example, he stopped struggle for her, and another presuppose is he was struggle before. Stop in here is taken to presuppose another concept, and another concept is he was struggle before. When you say that someone managed, the asserted meaning is that the person succeeded in some way. The next is structural presupposition. Structural presupposition is assumption associated with the use of certain words and phrases as assumed to be true. Or structural is assumption associated with the use of certain structure. The example is structure of WH questions. The example, when you bought the bike, in this sentence you are access and bought the bike. The fifth is non-factive presupposition. Non-factive presupposition is one that is assumed not to be true, or assumption that something isn't true or isn't same with the fact. And the sign of this presupposition is using verbs like dreams, imagine, and pretend, or etc. This is the example. She imagined that she is a princess, but the fact is she is not a princess, but she is still exists because she is a person that imagined she is a princess. The last is counterfactual presupposition. Counterfactual presupposition is the assumption that is not only untrue, but is opposite of what is true. This presupposition is contrary to fact or different to facts. For instance, the structure usually used is if clauses. For the example, if I have a Starbucks tumbler, then I will get a discount. In this sentence, fact is I don't have Starbucks tumbler, but another purpose is said that is can be someone out there called I, or I is excess. And another response is that is a discount if you have a Starbucks tumbler. Then the last is the example of presuppositions, and I will give the analysis of the example. The first presuppose is Louis ate sushi at Japanese restaurant. This is the formula. P, or one presuppose, is presuppose to kill or another presuppose. And from one presuppose can bring out with a lot of presuppose or assumptions, like someone out there called Louis, or we can state that Louis is exists. Another assumption is there is a Japanese restaurant. Another example is sushi is exists. This is another example. From one presuppose or first presuppose, Luna's bag carried by airport staff, and look at the formula P presuppose to Q. And another presuppose that bring out or assumption that bring out is someone out there called Luna. A person named is Luna, or we can say that Luna is exists. And other assumption is there is airport staff. And again, the another assumption is Luna has bag. Why? Because in the sentence, the speaker said Luna's bag carried by the airport, so the listener take the assumption that Luna has a bag. Okay, that's all from me. All of my explanation is based on my understanding of this material. And I hope you enjoy my video, and I'm so sorry if there are a lot of mistakes that I've made. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.